JAG stands for the Judge Advocate General's Corps, and the purpose of the JAG Corps is to take care of the legal needs of the uniformed people in the Navy. If it's take care of advising commanders or take care of dealing with legal issues that come up in a variety of areas, criminal or administrative or environmental, or a number of different areas for the Navy.
The Army and the Marine Corps and the Air Force all have JAGs, and they provide similar services. I mean, we're all unique in some way because our mission is unique. I mean, the Navy's mission is unique compared to the others, but all the lawyers and the JAGs in uniform perform the same services.
I joined the Navy in '97. When I came in, I was really just a wild teenager. Didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, and so I just decided maybe I should join the military. So went into the recruiting office and talked to a recruiter and decided maybe the military would be a good step for me.
I did 5 years as a service warfare officer, and when I was coming to the end of my 5 years, I got into the law education program with the Navy and went to law school, and after that came back into the JAG Corps.
I was in law school, and a group of us, we were in our second year of law school, and we went to see an Air Force recruiter. The thought being that the military offered the opportunity to start trying cases, be in a courtroom, the minute you came into the military, which is unusual in the civilian field. You have to pay your dues, and it's a good 3 to 5 years before you're actually trying a case. Well, we all wanted to be litigators. So we thought, go into the military, do our time, get our experience at litigators, and then go out and decide whatever it is we wanted to do.
I've always wanted to be an attorney per se, but a paralegal supporting the attorney, helping justice to be served and helping the attorney to get where they need to be. So I thought the legalman rate would be a good step for me to make, and decided I would convert over to legalman.
I went to sea during my first tour, so after being in the first year, I raised my hand and said I want to go to sea. And when I did, I mean, everything just changed. I knew I was going to stay in for a career once I did that.
Well, working as a JAG on the ship was very rewarding. I was on the carrier, and I was the only lawyer, only JAG on the carrier, and so I took care of the 5,000 sailors, anybody that had any problems. So I was part of the ship's company. So any legal issues that came up, they all talked to me. And any problems that the captain had, any issues that he wanted to discuss or needed advice about, that would be me. And I enjoyed taking care of the needs and supporting the mission of the ship by giving legal advice and helping the sailors.
JAG at sea, responsibility, for the most part, we're general practitioners, which means you need to be able to identify issues and be able to answer questions for a whole range of legal issues. Operational law, international law, your rules of engagement, your law of armed conflict, your military justice, which deals with good order and discipline, ethics, admiralty law, maritime law, administrative law, investigations.
Yes, sir. We were told to report to the Cayuga to observe a joint exercise being conducted under the international laws of the sea.
It is a range of issues, and the JAG won't be an expert in every one of those areas of law, obviously, but needs to know all those areas of law and be able to know who to go, what to do, issue spot, and answer leadership's questions.
Part of my duties on the carrier was if there were issues of international law, maritime law that would come up, as they did while we were in the Persian Gulf. The cap would say, let's talk about this, tell me what I need to know, help me, guide me through my decision-making process so that I can make good decisions, so that he, the cap, can make good decisions.
Good order and discipline has been something that has been, as long as we've had Navy ships and Navy crews, it's always been a concern. What happened was during the Civil War, there started to be a recognition that we need some type of law specialist involved that can handle these types of good order and discipline cases. And those were traditionally line officers. That eventually evolved into the requirement that, hey, maybe we should be having lawyers involved in this. And in fact, that didn't happen until about the 1950s. And then as that evolved into having all lawyers handling this type of good order and discipline and military justice, there was a recognition, well, we should group those specialists together into one corps. And they, in fact, officially grouped us together as a staff corps in 1967.
Following in his father's footsteps as a naval aviator, Lieutenant Commander Harmon Rabb Jr. suffered a crash while landing his Tomcat on a storm-tossed carrier at sea.
The show just brings out one aspect of what JAGs do, and for obvious reasons, it's the sexy part of our practice, and that is as our roles as prosecutors and defenders. Practicing in a courtroom or practicing on board a ship.
How could you identify slugs this badly deformed as coming from Chief Connor's weapon?
It has a very strong appeal. It's probably the reason why I came in originally. It's what people traditionally think of when they think of a lawyer. And that's what this show brings out of. But yeah, we do a lot more. We do a lot more.
Objection, not relevant.
Overruled.
It's real in a sense. The courtroom is real. Some of the instances where someone may have committed a crime is very real. If you're a trial counsel or a defense counsel, you're representing the accused and you're representing the government.
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Well, I'd say parts of it are very accurate, and parts of it, of course, make the show exciting, and it's a little bit inaccurate. Some of the investigations are not always done by JAGs, but I've done some pretty interesting stuff. I've gotten to go places and go overseas and talk to people and do some very interesting things. So while it's not exactly the same, parts of it are very accurate. And also I'd say that in the real JAG Corps, the emphasis is on the line commanders and taking care of the admirals and the decision makers. And a lot of our focus is not on ourselves, but on focusing on making sure the fleet has the information they need, making sure the fleet's ready to go, making sure the sailors are taken care of, as opposed to always focused on us, as any television show would have to be focused on the stars and the people that are in the show.
I mean, I don't know if I can contribute it directly to the show, but I will tell you I'm sure that it has helped. The competition and the number of applicants that try to get into the JAG Corps every year is unbelievable. They are literally picking the best of the best now to come into the JAG Corps because we have so many applicants. And I think it did heighten everyone's awareness of what we were doing and that there was an appeal to it.
I came into the JAG Corps not really ever really seeing the show. It really didn't have any impact on me. However, the impact I have had is in the community, people know what I do, they respect what I do, they are interested in what I do, and it's had a tremendous positive impact on the JAG Corps, and I think the Navy in general.
Is it exactly the way it is in the show, you know? And I would tell you that I'm not going to get into my F-14 and soar off an aircraft carrier because no, I don't do that, and I don't go running through the jungle to find the bad guy. But I will tell you that being in the JAG Corps is every ounce as exciting as your show portrays it to be, and that's why I stay.
The excitement of being able to help an attorney get a witness here for trial and know that the trial is going to go smooth and justice is going to be served is very exciting.
Every couple of years you change jobs and get to do something different and learn something new. Very interesting, very exciting. And it's a big team, and we work together to support the Navy, to make sure that the Navy's able to do the things that they need to do.